This is my review of the Flogging album, Live Behind the Green Door. It was released in 1997 and it was produced by absolutely no one, as it says in the credits inside. So this album, I kind of debated on whether or not I wanted to start the reviews with this album, and I decided on doing it just because it is their first chronologically. I kind of thought about starting with their first studio album because this is going to be kind of a weird short review since it's a live album. But I thought I'd go ahead with this because I really wanted to stick to the chronological thing. So this album, I kind of remember getting it. I'd been trying to find all of their albums, which was actually kind of hard at the time. They weren't really in a lot of stores. I think I found this in an FYE. I don't remember when exactly, but I do remember buying it. It's never been one of their albums I've listened to a lot. I think at the time when I got it, it was the last one of their albums that I needed to get. And it's not, it's kind of a weird live album because it's a very kind of raw live album, very, like, you know, kind of rough, and it's not the lineup of the band, like the full lineup that would be on the studio album, and it's different people in some cases. So I'll give the lineup for this album is Dave King vocal and acoustic guitar, Bridget Regan violin, Ted Hutt electric guitar, Jeff Peters bass, George Schwint drums, I think that's how to say that, sorry if I got it wrong, and Toby McCollum mandolin. So some of those people, well, Dave King, Bridget Regan, and George Schwint stay in the band, and the rest of the people will be gone by the studio album. Although Ted Hutt does produce, I think, like 2 of their albums later. So anyway, yeah, album's very definitely like live. It says on the back too, and hey, we do mean live. So it's not like the best recordings of some of these songs because a lot of the songs come up on their albums later. I'm going to kind of list the songs and say if there's anything, I guess, worth mentioning about them. There's Swagger, which starts off the album an instrumental, and next is, then there's Every Dog Has Its Day, Selfish Man. Then the 4th song, Never Met a Girl Like You, is actually a song that's only on this album. It's an original. It's not one of their stronger originals, I don't think, on the album, which is probably why they haven't done it on any of their other stuff. But all the rest of the songs that are on here that they are originals, they have put on other albums. The 5th song, Laura, is one that kind of really highlights how raw the recording of this album is. You can like hear a drunk guy singing along at the beginning of the song. So that kind of atmosphere is, I think, kind of what gives this album character. Is just, you know, like live in a bar and you can hear a bunch of noises and stuff, and the performances aren't perfect. So if you're in the mood for that kind of thing, this is a really good album. But if you want like a really polished live album, this is definitely not that. Then there's the 6th song is If I Ever Leave This World Alive. The 7th song, Black Friday Rule. Then they do a cover, What Made Milwaukee Famous. Pretty decent cover. I think I've never heard the original version, but I like it here. Then the 9th song, Between a Man and a Woman, which actually when I bought this album, that song hadn't been released on any other albums yet, but now it has been. And then the 10th and final track is a kind of like cover medley of Delilah and That's Alright, which is probably the song I've listened to the least on here because it's at the end and it's just a cover. So yeah, Live Behind the Green Door, kind of a weird one to start these reviews with since it's live, and my live album reviews are always so short and I don't really talk about songs that much, but want to go chronologically. So yeah, it's definitely just a really kind of raw, sounds like you're in a bar room type of live album. If you like that kind of thing, this might be for you. If not, probably not. But I don't know, not the greatest place to start with them, even though it is their first album, but definitely an interesting album to hear.